Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Knight of Arrows again. And when this card came up today, I was like, okay, yesterday I've got this new opportunity and passion, and now you're telling me I need to be quick in acting on whatever that creativity aspect is. And, you know, because that's how I think about the hawk. He's quick, he's fast, he's, you know, that again, those fighters, tacticians. You know, I talked about this the other day. And with him being here, okay, twice in a reading, it just means that, you know, I need to really, really focus on what it is I need to work on. And, you know, there's an opportunity out there that is going to be in your path to make you want to just jump at it. And sometimes we need to have that leap of faith in order to do so. You know, so, you know, thinking about this card and, you know, the quick action, you know, the other thing that comes to mind right now is taking a look at it from a different perspective. Whatever that creative passion that you have, all right, look at it from a perspective of high above, okay? More of a macro view than a micro view, right? Where it's right in front of you. You know, when I look at the macro view of the Knight of Arrows in the hawk, you know, he's flying high, you know, up in the sky, just looking for, you know, something to eat, right? And when he's out there and he's purviewing an area, and he sees something he likes, that's when he makes that quick action. And that's the message that I'm going to try to convey to you today, all right, is there is an opportunity, whether it be romance, whether it be finance, whether it be career, that's out there, okay? And it's presented to you because the Ace of Bows, that spark of life, has given it to you, okay? And this is right after you fell off the tree and, you know, out of the blasted oak. Your bonds are free. And he showed up, the hawk did, and said, you got to go, 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 go. And here you've got this passion as you're running, as you're getting away from the storm, right? And you just kind of take that upper perspective and you just look at things and say, okay, I need to be quick in this action. Because if I'm not, what's going to happen is I'm going to procrastinate. And if I procrastinate, then things ain't going to happen. So, you know, if you're looking at that romance idea, whether it's a new budding romance or, you know, looking at, you know, hey, I want to get out of the relationship I'm in, right? If somebody's in your path, okay, and you strike up an accord, if it's new, okay, have that conversation, right? Exchange numbers. You know, let's go out to dinner, blah, blah, blah. You know, any relationship has to start with a friendship. And, you know, start with a friendship, you have to get together and, you know, have those conversations. If this is on the other side of the coin, where, you know what, I don't want to be stuck in this relationship anymore, I need to move, then you need to have that passion, okay, to get out of that relationship. Find that lawyer, right? Talk to people who have gone through this so you get a better understanding of what you're going through. It's the same thing on that career. Maybe somebody drops you a line today and saying, hey, you know, you applied for this job a couple years ago and, you know, I'm curious if you're still interested. We have an opening, right? And, you know, that could be an opportunity that you're like, well, no, I'm not, you know, I'm going to wait. Maybe I'll wait till Monday or Tuesday to answer that. It's like, no, you need to answer that right now because this hawk is saying swift, quick action. Even if it's just to return a phone call, okay, by doing so, you let that person know you're interested, right? Hey, thanks for reaching out. You know, I'd really like to, you know, talk a little bit more about this opportunity. I'm not sure if it's right for me at this time, but, you know, let's have some dialogue on it. And if it's the opposite of that, if you've already, you know, looking for that job and you don't like what you're doing, it's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out of here. Here's my 2 weeks notice. And, you know, well, what are you going to do? You know, we can't afford to lose you. We should have thought about that before, you know, all this other stuff came down. You know, well, is it about more money? You know, you can leverage that, you know, how you want, right? But it's got to be swift. It's got to be quick. And look at it from the bigger picture, right? And the thought that's coming to my mind right now is you throw that stone into a still lake and you see the ripple effect, right? What's the ripple effect of everything? You know, same thing with finances. You know, if there's an opportunity to increase your 401k and you're managing it, do so. You know, if there's not, and, you know, you're looking at, you know, hey, you know, I need to cut back on this, that, and the other thing, then fine. Quit going to McDonald's, quit going to Starbucks. You know, put more money in your pocket. Let your money work for you instead of you working for your money, right? But it's got to be quick. It's got to be now. It's got to be decisive, okay? And that's what that Knight of Arrows hawk, you know, asks you to do is, you know, what do you need to, you know, stand up for? In all three of those instances, you're standing up for yourself, whether it's, in the, you know, out of the relationship, out of a job, you know, saving money, or, you know, getting into a new relationship, new opportunity job, you know, and making investments. You're standing up for yourself, and that's what this hawk asks for. And it's even doubly so with this hawk being down here twice, okay? The other question he asks is, where might you, you know, be wrongly informed? So again, taking that macro view and looking at all the details. It goes back to that Knight of Bows. What details are you missing, right? And, you know, with the fox, you know, what details are you missing or ignoring, as well as what opportunities are you seizing in the situation? So both of these cards, the Knight of Bows and the Knight of Arrows, okay, quick, decisive action. What opportunities are in your path, okay, to help you grow? And are you looking at the bigger picture? What details are you missing, right? And then the King of Arrows is sitting there and says, you know, what do you got to focus on clearly? What is it in your life, on your spiritual path, that you need to focus on clearly? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be as a person, within an organization, in your relationship, however you want to look at it, okay, in your spiritual walk? Where do you want to be in all that? And then the other question he asks is, who can give you that good advice? Well, I can tell you right now, the King of Arrows can give you some pretty good advice. The Knight of Bows and the Knight of Arrows are also giving you pretty good advice. But like I said, with that Knight of Arrows, a hawk, you have to be quick. You can't sit on anything, all right? Because this is an emphasis on, hey, this is what's going on. Now, you know, I'm doing this before the weekend, so you may have the opportunity over the weekend to think about this, but at the same time, you need to be quick come Monday morning. You know, this is what I want to do. This is what I, you know, where I want to be. This is, you know, how I want things to move forward, right? And it's all about that passion. Enjoy that passion over the weekend. So that's today's card of the day, the Knight of Arrows and the Hawk. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Share it with others. Give me a thumbs up. If you'd like a personal reading, check out the stand store down below in the description box. And this is D for Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. And stay safe, everybody.